In the unfathomable silence of deep space, where no planet spins and no sun shines, something moved. It wasn't drifting like forgotten debris or dancing like a comet caught in gravity's pull. This movement had purpose. And the one to catch it wasn't some state-of-the-art billion-dollar satellite or next-gen AI observatory. It was Voyager 2, a relic of the 1970s, long past its expected lifetime, still venturing beyond the edge of our solar system. It was this aging analog-era spacecraft that recorded something so unexplainable, so deliberate, that it's forcing scientists to question the very core of astrophysics. Voyager didn't just pick up a fluctuation in the plasma field or a random burst of radiation. It captured a directed anomaly, something moving with rhythm, intelligence, and intent in a place where only emptiness should exist. Could it be a rogue particle? An exotic form of matter? Or something far more artificial? It began with the plasma wave detector, one of Voyager's more primitive instruments by today's standards. A low-frequency pulse echoed through the silence. It was faint, irregular at first, then more deliberate. The pattern strengthened. Flickers turned to directional shifts. Then came sustained, repeated movement. What made it especially compelling was its origin, beyond the heliopause, in true interstellar space, where solar wind and planetary interference fade into a cold, still quiet. It's like hearing a whisper echo through a vacuum. No asteroid belts, no nearby comets, no gravitational anomalies. Whatever this was, it wasn't just moving. It was maneuvering, changing course, adjusting direction, as if aware of its own path, as if aware of Voyager itself. When scientists analyzed the signal more deeply, it became even stranger. The object, or whatever it was, appeared to respond when Voyager changed orientation. The readings adjusted as if in reaction, like feedback, as if the anomaly noticed it was being watched. This was not how natural space behaves. It mimicked the behavior of a scanning probe or reconnaissance drone, not a drifting rock. Even more puzzling was the absence of any known propulsion mechanism. There was no heat signature, no exhaust trail, no indication of solar or chemical propulsion. And yet, the object moved deliberately, without a trace. The signal modulation, too, defied logic. Rather than behaving like random natural radio bursts, it emitted timed intervals of energy followed by precise silence, then resumed again with variations, a kind of rhythm, perhaps even a message. Naturally, the whispers began. Could this be artificial? Had Voyager 2 stumbled upon something not born of stars and dust but of design? Was this a probe, perhaps even ancient, lost in the void, or something sentient, something observing us in return? One theory suggested it might be a cloaked reconnaissance object, the interstellar equivalent of a submarine, hidden in deep space. Others wondered if it could be an intelligent plasma field, a naturally formed electromagnetic entity mimicking awareness. But even that idea stretched the boundaries of current science. The object, or signal, didn't belong in any of our cosmic catalogs. It wasn't in our textbooks. It didn't follow any expected pattern of interstellar phenomena. Whatever Voyager had detected, it didn't just stand out. It challenged our very definition of what's possible. Then came the implications of location. Voyager 2 was in one of the most desolate zones ever explored, the local interstellar cloud. A region so empty that a few atoms per cubic centimeter are considered dense. And yet something was moving there with intent, shifting course as if powered by energy sources we can't detect or surfing on unknown interstellar currents. More surprisingly, its path wasn't linear. It curved, dipped, and paused, behaviors associated with conscious navigation. Researchers began to speculate. Had Voyager entered a reactive field in space? A zone that responds to intruders? Was it possible that this part of space was a sensor field of some kind, and Voyager had tripped a silent alarm? The more scientists combed through the data, the more unsettling it became. Directional shifts and signal intensities weren't random. They appeared to repeat. Not just in patterns, but in prime number clusters, 3, 5, 7. Prime numbers aren't common in nature without reason. They suggest design. Deep signal analysis uncovered harmonics and structures similar to those used in quantum communication experiments. In other words, this thing wasn't just moving, it was possibly sending a message. And in physics, when coded structure appears where there should only be noise, something or someone is behind it. It wasn't chaos. It was purpose. Looking back at data from other distant probes like New Horizons and Pioneer 10, scientists noticed a chilling pattern. Pioneer had shown unexplained trajectory drift decades ago, brushed off as radiation interference. New Horizons experienced strange sensor glitches in roughly the same region Voyager now occupied. None of it had seemed important until now. When the pieces were placed together, a new picture began to emerge. This anomaly, whatever it is, might not be new at all. It could have been following us slowly from the edge of the solar system, just outside of our detection range, staying in the shadows, until now. Then, on the 49th day of continuous observation, the anomaly did something no one could ignore. It stopped. Not slowed. Stopped. Dead in its path, like it realized it had been noticed. Over the next 17 hours, it made a series of minute movements, micro-adjustments forming a tight spiral, not unlike calibration patterns used in artificial satellites and observatories. Engineers recognized it instantly. This was alignment stabilization. It was preparing for something. And then came the pulse. A sharp, focused burst of low-frequency radiation. It was so exact it triggered Voyager's old emergency protocols, forcing the spacecraft to realign its communications dish. The moment Voyager reacted, the signal stopped. The implications were terrifying. Had this object not just been watching but trying to communicate? Did Voyager unknowingly answer? Theorists were now split. Some clung to natural causes, an exotic plasma cloud or fluctuating magnetic field. But others believed something far more profound had occurred. That Voyager 2 had crossed into a monitored corridor of the galaxy and triggered a sentinel. An ancient construct, a watcher. Not a ship, not a creature, but something else. A gatekeeper. Something placed there to observe, to study, maybe even to judge. The pulses, the pattern recognition, the adaptive response, it all echoed ideas once confined to science fiction. Theoretical constructs like von Neumann probes, designed to silently monitor life as it develops across the stars. If true, this would mean we are not alone, and haven't been for a long time. Voyager may 2nd have stumbled into a test we never knew we were taking. What if the signal was waiting for us? What if it had been dormant, silent, and hidden until a probe from Earth, an innocent messenger, stepped across an invisible line and triggered its awakening? Was this object simply responding to detection? Or was it evaluating us, logging our progress, waiting for the moment when it deemed humanity ready to be seen? These aren't just questions for philosophers anymore. They're questions confronting physicists, engineers, and astronomers in real time. So now, the great mystery isn't only about what Voyager 2 discovered, but what happens next. If what was detected is truly artificial, intelligent, or reactive, then this single moment changes everything. Our understanding of deep space, of cosmic solitude, of the great silence, shattered. The darkness out there may not be empty after all. Perhaps it's been watching us. Perhaps it's always been waiting for us to make that first step beyond the border of our sun's influence. Voyager 2, once considered a relic drifting alone, may have just delivered humanity's first knock on the door of something vast, ancient, and aware. For decades, we thought we were broadcasting into a void, a lone message in a bottle cast into the ocean of stars. But now it seems someone or something just picked it up, and the response, whether a signal, a shift in movement, or a spiraling dance in the dark, was deliberate. This isn't just an anomaly buried in telemetry logs. It's a paradigm shift, a possible turning point in the story of mankind. One where the watchers in the dark are no longer content to remain hidden. One where the universe, silent and still for so long, just blinked back. And in that blink is the most haunting question of all. Not what did Voyager 2 find, but who found us? And what comes next?